everyone, I am Madhumita, a 2023-24 years Chevening scholar from India. In today's video, I am going to talk about few tips for the interview, who might you see in the panel of the interview, is it going to be online or offline, and details like what you should do after you receive your interview confirmation mail. How do you schedule it? How do you know the timings? What are all the questions you have to prepare for? And also some previous year questions that I've gathered for you. Let's get into the video. As per Chevening's previously provided timeline, you might get an interview call in the late January or early February. Once you receive this mail that says, we are pleased to inform you that your application has been progressed to the next stage of process selection, what you do the first thing is go to the applicant portal and schedule your interview. This is completely first come, first serve basis. This is where you schedule the date and time of your interview and also the location where you would like to attend this interview from. For my batch, that is when I gave my interview in February 2022, it was completely online and it might change as the year moves on. The details of if it is going to be online or offline and other possible location details will be available in the applicant portal when you try to schedule your interview. Another important thing that you have to do at this stage is make sure you've uploaded all your documents, the educational documents as well as the documents or the reference letters that your referees are supposed to upload. While you take care of the documentation, reference letter uploads and interview scheduling on the Chevening application portal, also make sure to contact your university and make sure the application is progressing. At least have an conditional offer letter and ensure to change into an unconditional offer letter before July, as the Chevening portal will require you to submit all your offer letters from the university that you are willing to study from. Interview scheduling, uploading documents and ensuring your university application progress are three important things that are expected to do after you receive your interview call. Once all this administrative work is done, how do you start your preparation for the interview? My suggestion is start with revising all your essays all over again. It would have been a few weeks since you had submitted them, so go through all the details that you have mentioned in there. The leadership essay or be it the career essay, I would try to focus more on leadership and career essays because they might put you into situations during the interview to answer things and check your leadership skills, or try to understand how well you understand about your course. Do you have a really good understanding about the course, and are you able to relate your course to the future career plans that you had mentioned already in the essay? So make sure to be well prepared on this stuff, on these topics. Also use the STAR approach when some problem-based question or situation-based questions are asked. So you're able to explain the situation and how you handle the task in the given amount of time. Try to answer the questions very briefly unless and otherwise asked to explain in detail. So the next thing I did was trying to understand what are all the recent collaborations that my country is doing with UK in my particular area of study. So mine was engineering, mostly related to manufacturing. So I tried to understand what are all the collaborations happening through governments, through other universities or academic institutions, and made an understanding of how that might help me study further, delve deeper into the topics during my stay in the UK. Also, have ideas in your mind about few projects or few particular areas where you would like to work when you're doing your course in the UK. This might be aligned to the career plans that you had already mentioned in your essays, which will justify the projects or your area of interest much more. And also make sure you study a little bit about UK, the culture, what challenges you might expect when you go there. So when they put up some questions, you have a brief idea of what they're asking about. One another question that you can surely expect is, how are you going to contribute to UK while you are studying? Let me share a file before I start discussing about few other areas of questions that you might be asked. So this is a document that I prepared during my interview preparation. I made a compilation of questions that were asked during various interviews to various other Cheveners, not just from India, but through other Facebook groups, and when I could connect to other global network of Cheveners, These are some questions that I could summarize for you. Let's discuss them part by part.
You should be able to find it on my blog, Madmade Blogs. I will provide the link in description. So the top article on here is about the interview questions. Let me take you through this. So on an average, the duration of the interview is expected to be around 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, you can expect around 5 to 8 or 10 questions to be asked, which gives you around like 2 to 5 minutes per question, depending upon the panel and how detailedly you are answering those questions. So prepare answers for all these questions, keeping that mind and keeping that time in your mind. So the most important question that you can never ignore is tell us about yourself, because obviously every interview is going to start with that question. Make sure you have very crisp and interesting bio to tell about yourself. The next question you could expect is why this scholarship? Why did you choose Chevening? Because for UK itself, there are many other scholarships like Commonwealth and things like that. So, what are you expecting from the scholarship, and what are you willing to give this through this scholarship? Have an answer for that in mind. And also, they could ask you about a role model, a general role model, or also it could be very specific, like one person in the industry or in your area of study, or one leader that you aspire, or the skills, why you aspire them to be your role model, what are all the things that interest you in them, and things like that. And there could also be general psychological questions like what does failure mean to you, or what does success mean to you? How would you react in a failure? How do you take failures personally, and things like that? So be prepared for questions in that area. And to talk about leadership, current in your current role, how are you a leader? How do you establish your leadership? And things like that. Another thing could be like unpopular decision that you had to take during your leadership in the current role. You could state any situation, not just from the current role, or it might be from your school days or university days or anywhere. State when questions like this are asked, state a situation, how did you have to handle that, and what was the outcome of that situation. So that would be more easy for them to understand and make it more legitimate. And with respect to networking, you could expect questions like examples of networking in current job, or what advice would you give to someone newly starting your job, and what is the importance of networking for someone newly starting? What is your networking style, and things like that. And when it comes to about UK, that is what I told, study a little bit about UK so you can answer these questions like what cultural aspects of UK would you like to explore? What challenges do you expect to face in the UK? Like for few people, temperature could be a challenge. For few people, cooking in itself could be a challenge. There could be many things. For few people, this is the first time they might be staying away from home. So homesickness in itself could be a challenge. You could talk about any of those challenges that you think here, and also how do you plan to cope up with those challenges is also very important to discuss while you talk about these answers. And also, Chevening believes that this 1 year is not just for you to study, but also to enjoy and explore UK further. So, study a little bit about, so for example, it is famous, a few parts of UK are famous for hiking. So, according to the university location, understand what are all the famous activities there and have a very brief idea of what you might do there. And talking about things specific to your course or career, make sure you have answers for all these questions. Importantly, for what is your plan after returning to your home country? And what would you advise someone who is starting a career in your profession? These are all things asked just to understand how well you know about your career in the current situation, what is expected in the future, and things like that. Make sure to have in mind answer for questions like where do you see yourself in 10 years or 5 years, or where do you think this aspect of the course would have developed in 5 years? Like people talk a lot about artificial intelligence and things like that. So, where do you see that application of artificial intelligence in your course in the next 10 years and things like that? So, just prepare for questions like that. And one thing that I told previously as well that might be very surely asked is how will you contribute to Chevening community in your home country, and also how will you contribute to UK's community while you're studying here? So these are a list of few questions that I had collected. I might be updating these questions again this time. So make sure to check out these questions. This might be of help to you. I'll be providing the link of this page in the description. Hope this helps.
Hope this discussion might have helped you to understand how to prepare for the interview, or at least what to expect from the interview. Apart from this, to talk about the panel, mine was a Chevening Adani scholarship, which means I had a private partner who was sponsoring me. So in my panel, I had 2 people from the Chevening Commission and then 1 representative from the Adani groups. Otherwise, you might have 3 different people from the Chevening board itself. Or although I was kind of nervous, the interview panel was very warm and cordial. They kept me comfortable throughout the interview process. I'll be talking more about my personal experience, how the interview went, what questions were asked and how did I respond to them in another video. If this video was helpful, please make sure to leave a like or a comment, and if you want more Chevening related content, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.